Hey guys, hope you all have been well. Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I wanted to do a spring inspired, fun, quick, but fresh makeup look. This is the type of look that I use when I go out to run errands. Geez, these freaking chickens. I tend to do this look when I go out, say to run errands, something very fast and simple, but still put together. And being that it is the spring season and we're just kind of getting back into doing makeup, you know, after a year or so of just not caring, I thought, why not? Why not go back into tutorials doing a look like this? So if you are interested in this fresh face and simple makeup glowy look right here, I hope you decide to stay tuned. We're gonna get straight into the tutorial. So let us get started. By the way, don't mind the high C in the back. This is my attempt to get sponsored by Paradise Sun. I have no shame. So starting off with primer, e.l.f. Putty Primer. I'm just about to hit the bottom of this little jar. It's always exciting to get to the bottom of a product because that means you used it. Your money did not go to waste. And I use this one because of my pores and my lines, generally textured skin. I don't really need primer for the rest of my face, so we will leave it at that. Here we have the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Foundation. I have it in the shade 80W. I use about half or 3/4 of a pump. And since we're doing a springy, more glowy, vibrant look, I'm going to use MAC's Strobe Cream, and I'm just gonna mix them together, back of my hand, and use my brush to apply that onto my skin. I do have a bit of product still left on my brush, so what I'm gonna do is take a napkin and just get rid of the excess. So I don't care if some pigmentation shows through, some of my moles or age spots. Are freckles and age spots the same thing? If you know, let me know. This ring light makes my foundation look like I'm a ghost, but it looks fine in real life. Let's move on to concealer, and I'm gonna be mixing two. I like to use the e.l.f. by itself, but the color is a little too light for my liking, at least. I much prefer matching the rest of my face and my concealer than having it extremely brightening and light on the bottom. So I'm also going to take my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, and this is in the shade C12, which is too deep for me. So a combination of the two is perfect. Oh, by the way, my foundation brush is the Morphe E56. For concealer, I'm using the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill JH08. See how perfect the combination is? It just blends right into my complexion. Same thing on the side, and it's just like a smidge of concealer. Now we're gonna do cream bronzer. I'm gonna be using the NARS Sunkissed Bronzing Cream in Laguna. I do have a review on this if you didn't already know. And I'm gonna use the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Dab that on, tap off excess, and then bronze. And if you're wondering how I apply my cream bronzer, it's the same thing with powder, but I find my cheekbone and that's where I place it, and then I buff it upwards. I never go below my cheekbones. And then taking that onto the temples, my forehead, and I always make sure to get in my hairline because my forehead is big, okay? I like to tap off the excess on the back of my hand because I don't want that to be stamped on my face. Even though this is easy to blend out, it does dry down, so if you don't work with it, you might be left with product that you don't want to deal with. Maybe I can use some of this excess, taking my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. This is what I use to contour my nose, just using the excess on the back of my hand. This does have a scent, and it's slightly coconut, but it's not overpowering, so I can handle the scent. I'd much rather it be unscented, but I can handle it. The MAC MSF in Medium Golden. Taking my BK 105 brush. This was kindly given to me, and I have been loving my BK brushes. I'm so glad I got to try it. It was already on my brush wish list, but they contacted me and I'm like, hell yeah, bronzer, I'm just gonna use any bronzer. For me, it doesn't really make a difference what bronzer I use, as long as I have some on my face. Bring back color, blend up. This is the Bobbi Brown bronzer in the shade Natural, and this brush is the BK104. Adding bronzer to the face is just bronzer, blush, highlighter. That step, oh, gets me. Hakuhodo J22 OG. Just lightly blending that exactly where I placed the cream bronzer. I tend to take my powder brush and just run over that a little bit just to tone it down some. I think I'm gonna do blush a little later when I figure out how my eyes are starting to look, and my eyes are just gonna be very, very simple. But before we do that, I'm gonna do my brows. Let's do brows on camera. I'm gonna use the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Latte. This is the one I wanted. I'm just gonna fill it in ever so slightly. I'm gonna do one brow for you. Just filling in the sparse areas. All right, now I'm gonna take the end of this brow pencil, bend it some, and take the ABH Brow Freeze, dip it in, get it saturated but not overly. Just kind of spread that product out and then start brushing it up. I find that the warmth of my body doesn't allow the product to set properly. So what I find myself doing is trying to set it on my own. I haven't used this powder in particular, but it's the same concept, taking powder and just lightly patting it in. And then I'll go back in with spoolie and work through it again. Almost done. Shut up. Be quiet. I'm filming. I'm gonna use the ABH brow pen because I really want to finish this thing. And so I start right here where my brow hairs are sparse and few, far between. And then this I don't touch again. I don't touch the middle of my brow. If I apply it too dark, I just tap. And as you can tell, I'm barely touching my skin because this shade is too dark for me. Okay, so that is one brow done. Let me go off camera and then we will be back to do the eyes. Hey, we are back, and like Manny Anyway says, back in the brows are filled. And if you are now just joining us, Paradise Sun, sponsor me. Okay, so for eyes, I'm gonna use my bronzer starting off. Don't worry, there will be an eye product, just not right now. So taking a fluffy brush, BK201, taking my bronzer and whipping this baby into my transition / crease area. Look, we don't have time. We already don't want to be in the store. Let's be honest. We are at a point where we're just getting back into makeup. We haven't had to wear makeup or didn't feel like wearing it for a year and some change. So let's ease back into it. There's this bird right up there. I have an arched window on top of my regular window. This bird keeps tapping on it. Now I'm trying to decide between these two cream eyeshadows. So these are both Charlotte Tilbury Ice Mesmerize. I have Rose Gold and I have Star Gold. I always use Rose Gold, so I'm gonna use Star Gold, which is this one here. I might excess on this side. I started off not really enjoying them because I'm not used to this more wet formula. I'm used to a much more drier formula. Not many cream products come so malleable, is that the word? Now I like to use lashes. So taking my Ardell Wispies number 113, my favorites, and let's do a clear glue. Close to the lash line. It's always the inner corners. Stick. I'm looking right at the other half of me. Sometimes I pretend that I'm the one that's singing it at a concert. It's one of those songs that you get the crowd involved in, and then everyone starts singing, and then someone whips out a lighter and does this thing, you know? And I just wish that I wrote it. But then again, I'm technically married to Justin Timberlake in my mind, so he wrote it for me. I say. Now we get to play with the blushes. So I have an idea. Give me a second to collect myself. So I'm going to use cream blushes. I'm going to use 2 of them. And the first shade I'm going to take is the Shiseido one, which is their Minimalist blush. This is Lip Shimmy. This is the shade Momoko, and tap it in. My eyes are soft, so we're going to go heavy on the blush. And if you guys didn't already know, I love blush. Taking it all the way to the temples, dabbing it on the nose. So that is the base color. And then I'm going to put the next shade kind of right in the center. And I'm going to use the Honest Beauty Creme Cheek Blush in Peony Pink. I'm taking the sponge, tap, 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 tap. A little bit of peach, a little bit of pink, and a whole lot of blush. I want to show you this Tom Ford highlighter. I put it in my favorites video, which was 2 videos ago, and I want to show it to you live in action. So this is the Skin Illuminating Duo in Moodlight, and I have the wrong brush. I'm gonna take my MAC 165 brush, and I'm going to mix in both shades. It's just wet looking. I really like this highlighter. Down the nose, and I'm just dipping back and forth between the 2 shades. Now I'm gonna set my face. I need to bust out my new sponges because I've been using this one and I haven't cleaned it yet. I'm gonna use the BFF lip liner. This needs to be sharpened. Do that so the darkness around my lips goes away. And we're gonna use Stone Rose from Charlotte Tilbury. I know, you're welcome. This is like such a good everyday lip. But I'm gonna do some lip gloss. I'm actually gonna do a lip oil from Colourpop. This is just their clear lip oil in Dewdrop. Consistency is just divine. And here we have the final look, guys. Very fresh, very youthful, very springy. I just popped my ankle, and it really doesn't take much effort. I had to talk through it, but this is like seriously very fast makeup for me. Just a whole bunch of fast movements all over my face, but you can see like my skin still looks like skin. My eyes are very simple, lips, cheeks are bright and poppy. A very good go-to quick look. I keep making noise. I will be listing everything in the description box down below, but you can also be checking me out. You hear the chicken? Gotta love my chickens. You can also check me out on Instagram. There I post all of my makeup looks, past, present, and future, along with all the products in the caption. Till the next video, I hope you all are doing well, taking great care of yourselves. I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.